All right, welcome to Can I Play? This is a SnowRunner playthrough, and it is the first content on this channel. I actually was watching another YouTuber. I really enjoy watching playthrough videos, and was watching another YouTuber play through SnowRunner and really liked the content, and was enough for me to actually say, hey, I'm going to get a capture card and record some gameplay, and we'll see if anybody's interested in watching it. So I had actually already started playing SnowRunner and was really enjoying it, which is why I was watching a playthrough video. And I'm going to go ahead and start over. I learned a lot in my first kind of partial playthrough, and go from here. So this is starting at the very beginning. Just loaded a new game, and the game wants me to find the first watchtower. So I'm going to get a truck and find the watchtower and do some of the early missions in this video. All right, so I'm going to kind of blow through some of the tutorial stuff here because I already know how to put on all-wheel drive and change to low gear and things like that. So when those pop up, I'll just kind of skip through them. I don't know that I need to go into low gear. I'm just going to flip it into all-wheel drive here instead, which I think is the next prompt. Yep, I already know how to drive an all-wheel drive. So this is the first truck in the game that you start with. For those of you that haven't played, it's an older Chevy, I think quarter-ton truck. It's a 1500, CK 1500 or something like that series truck that you start the game with. This is in the scout truck class. All the trucks in the game are kind of divided into scout trucks and off-road vehicles and heavy-duty vehicles and highway vehicles and things like that. So to the right here that I'm passing is a bridge that's out. I'm not going to go down that road because that is one of the early game missions, and I need to go get a truck that can haul supplies to repair that bridge. But first things first, I have to turn right here, I believe, to find that first watchtower. Is this where it's at? I can go into the map. Yep, I can go into the map and set a... Actually, I think I can turn farther up the road here. I'm going to back out. There's another turn off up here. Ooh. Pay attention where I'm going. Yeah, here we go. So I need to go around this. There's water over the road up here. You'll encounter different terrain. This is another kind of tutorial tip. In this truck, I actually don't think I can go through that. I think the engine will stall out. Later on, when you get bigger trucks and some of the hauling trucks, you can just kind of drive through that water over the road there. But even this is telling me dangerous water level. It really doesn't get dangerous when it's just the white warning. It's when it turns red that you have to worry about problems. So this is just kind of a detour around the water over the road that we take. This truck is definitely a little slippy. Here's the fuel station. I don't need fuel because I've only used 5 liters. Took a little bit of damage there, but never really had problems in my earlier playthrough with disabling vehicles because of damage. It tends to either be you get stuck, or you roll your vehicle, or you run out of fuel, versus actually having so much damage that your vehicle is disabled. All right, first watchtower. Get the little scenic view of the area, and it unlocks on the map when you hit a watchtower. It kind of unlocks a radius around it. It kind of clears that, you know, fog of war type of area. All right. Here it's explaining how to place the nav markers, right trigger to put down a nav point and left trigger to clear it. So I'm here at the watchtower. I need to head back up here, then turn down, come down to here, and go pick up this GMC truck. That's kind of the first area. I probably didn't need to set those nav points because of my previous playthrough. I'm familiar with the area I'm in. I really just need to go straight down this hill, so those nav points were not necessary at all. And you can see the little, kind of over on the left-hand side of the screen, it's also marked. If I didn't want to use nav points, it marked my destination with the little yellow magnifying glass. One thing I've noticed in my earlier playthrough, this terrain in the early game is not super tough, but there are some areas, you know, in like deep mud, especially in a vehicle where, you know, some of the early game vehicles have either all-wheel drive or a locking differential, but not both. And it can be a little bit of a challenge in the deep mud. And so kind of picking your line, like you pick a line in a racing game and saying, you know, I don't have to drive through the deepest mud. I can kind of skirt around it. Makes life easier in the early game, especially when you don't have the most capable trucks. So there's nothing saying you have to drive right down the middle of the deep mud. All right, so I discovered a new truck. And I can push the up on the D-pad and go into functions and change trucks. And it brings up the little arrows pointing at each other. And if I hit A, I jump in the GMC 9500. So this is the first truck we have, and we can go back to the map and look at our missions. We're doing the Steel River Township, and we need to rebuild this old bridge. So we need to bring metal planks and wooden planks. The wooden planks are right here, and let's read this. The only problem that you have, you're cut off from the mainland. Rebuild the bridge so that you can reach the garage and get a real contract. You must do 2 objectives. They must be done in order. So I actually struggled with this in my first playthrough because I said, well, I'll go straight down here and get the wood planks, and then I'll take them to the bridge. And I ended up I drove to the bridge, and then ended up after that driving into the town storage to pick up the metal planks. And you can unload your cargo and replace it with something else, but it was just a waste to go get, you know, the other parts first because the bridge requires the metal planks first. So I'm going to activate this. I just hit right on the D-pad. You can see down at the bottom where it says restart and stop tracking. I had just activated that. So I'm going to get out of here, close the tutorial, get out of the map, and go repair the old bridge. Oops, release the handbrake. So this truck, kind of what I was alluding to before, this is a rear-wheel drive truck. Does not have all-wheel drive or a locking differential at this point. It might take one or the other as an upgrade, but you have to find it. Upgrades for things like the differential, all-wheel drive, that type of thing, you have to locate upgrades on a map. Upgrades for things like tires and stuff like that, you have to level up. So you get, depending on the type of truck, you get, I think, all-terrain tires at level 6, and then you get off-road tires at maybe level 10. I don't recall. We'll look when we get to the garage and look at what we can do from an upgrade perspective. You can look at everything and see what it takes to get that unlocked. Okay, pulling up on the town storage here. It is kind of a drive-through warehouse lumber yard situation. So I can pull through here and get my metal planks and pull out the other end. Hit the cargo management button. Okay, loading cargo. Auto load, that's all I can fit is one, and one is all I need. Those are metal planks. Back down through town to the old bridge. I'm quite impressed with the graphics even. I'm playing on Xbox One. I'm a console gamer. Haven't really played a PC game in a long time. Have not owned a PlayStation game for a number of years. I had a PS3, but I think I had like 2 games for it. I bought it as a Blu-ray player. I'm a big movie guy, and that was one of the most capable early Blu-ray players. I actually had 2 HD DVD players. I jumped in the wrong camp there. Kind of like the people that picked Betamax, I guess. This truck is just tall enough to go through this water over the road here, so I can just go through these barriers. It's going to give me the warning, but it's not high enough to stall the engine out. And the terrain underneath there is not mud. It's kind of gravel, and it doesn't really slow you down. So you can kind of... Probably actually in this rear-wheel drive vehicle would have been riskier to go through the kind of detour I took in the pickup truck. Possibly could have gotten stuck in that mud. So it's actually a little easier to go through. Just going to hang a left here and go down to the bridge. And there are drop-off points if you're not familiar with kind of the mission structure of this game. There's drop points for all of the repair and rebuild, and that's kind of the point of the game, is you get these missions to fix a bridge or clear a rock slide or whatever. Okay, so just pull up here and stop. Cargo management. And if you've got the right stuff, it gives you the little tutorial on how to unload cargo, but you just hit A to unload. It'll give you an animation for most of these to show you what it's working on. So that's step 1 of 2. So I'm halfway done. So I'm going to go get... Let me pull up just to make sure I don't get lost along the way. I don't know the map that well yet. I think I want to take this kind of lower road down by the river. So we'll just throw a couple nav points so I don't miss my turn. It's that simple. Now we need wooden planks times 2. You can see up in the upper right hand corner, it tells you what you need for your mission. Wooden planks times 2. This GMC truck is not bad for an early game truck. There are better ones that you can get fairly early, and one of the things that I like about the game is they really focused it on the driving, and so one of the things they did was made the economy of the game very simple and straightforward. So unlike, say, some racing games where you can buy new cars and do upgrades to your cars, when you sell those cars and those upgrades, you take a hit. In this game, for the most part, you don't. I've read online and in some Reddit threads and stuff that some of the upgrades aren't fully cost recovered, but the trucks themselves, I think, are 100%. So you can sell this truck and use the funds to upgrade, say, the Chevy, and then if you need this truck back to do a mission, you can buy it back at the exact same price and kind of buy and sell it as many times as you need without losing money. So that's kind of nice because it keeps you just focused on the driving and the off-road mechanics, which are really fantastic too. I've read a lot of praise online. I just took some vehicle damage there. When you're driving at speed and you're on rough terrain, especially if your vehicle doesn't have the highest durability rating, you can take damage just hitting like a big pothole type of thing. So you'd have to be careful, but as I mentioned earlier, I've never damaged a vehicle all the way out to where it was non-functional and had to be recovered because of damage. It's always getting stuck or rolling the vehicle or a trailer or running out of fuel. Here we are at the lumber mill. So again, you just hit X to go into the cargo menu. I need 2 of these. So 1, 2. Exit out of there and drive through the rest of the lumber mill and head back to the bridge. I think I lost my train of thought halfway through talking about the kind of the game physics. They're really great. I mean, if you think about it, you have to model wheel spin and then be able to modify that based on changing into all-wheel drive or locking the differential. Different trucks handle differently. The terrain and how that all impacts if your wheels have, you know, good full contact with the ground or not. I need to just slow down. I'm taking damage. It's really done well. It makes the game really addictive because as the terrain gets more tough, completing one mission takes significantly longer. And so, you know, spending a half an hour or an hour just driving across the map to pick up, you know, supplies at the warehouse and then driving halfway back to deliver them to a rock fall or something like that becomes much more challenging. The game's not a fast-paced game, which is kind of my style. I don't go in for the really fast twitch reflex, you know, first-person shooters. I don't play live online games. I'm frankly not good at those types of games. I tend to like a little bit of a slower game. I plan to continue and with this series as the content I want to start this channel with, but I'm going to do some other playthroughs eventually, and we'll probably go back and revisit some of my favorite games over time. Games in different genres. I don't only play kind of these driving simulator games. All right, completed our first mission. So it's going to put the roadbed on the bridge, and then the barricades will get cleared away after the animation, and I can drive across this bridge now. So I think I'm going to call this one. I will very quickly probably post a follow-up to this video where I'll continue doing some more missions, but as this is a brand new channel, kind of keep it short and sweet. Give me feedback in the comments. I sincerely would appreciate it. I want, you know, I hope people want to watch these videos. I find it relaxing to just watch playthrough videos like these of games that I enjoy and just kind of listening to the player, you know, talk and explain the game as they go. So that's what I'm trying to do here. So, you know, if you liked this, give me a like, give me a subscribe, and we will see you in the next video.